Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Logic Medico. Today's interesting topic is development of the urinary bladder. So, if you are new to my channel, kindly consider subscribing to my channel and don't forget to press the thumbs up button so that you like this video. So, coming to the topic, development of urinary bladder. The earlier part of intrauterine life, the embryo is in the form of a disc called as embryonic disc. It will have a head end and a tail end. Ventral to that there will be yolk sac, and dorsal to that there will be amniotic cavity. Amniotic cavity not shown in this picture. Only the yolk sac has been shown. At the 4th week of intrauterine life, there will be 4 folds. At the head end, there will be head fold. At the tail end, there will be tail fold. In the middle of that, there will be 2 lateral folds. You can see these 2 lateral folds in the middle of the body of the embryo. These 2 lateral folds will draw this yolk sac into the embryo, converting the embryo into from the disc shape to a cylindrical shape embryo. So now we have 3 guts, the foregut, midgut and hindgut. What is foregut? That part of the yolk sac which is present within the head fold. What is a hindgut? That part of the yolk sac within the tail fold of the embryo. What is midgut? That part of the yolk sac between the 2 lateral folds. So this is the fate of the yolk sac. Now urinary bladder, you only guess whether it is in the head end or the tail end. It's tail end, right? So it is developed from the hindgut. This hindgut will give a diverticulum, okay? Subsequently, will give a diverticulum. It's called as allantoic diverticulum, also called as allantois. Some books also give it as urachus. After giving the diverticulum, the hindgut, you can see that here, the upper portion remains tubular, the proximal portion. The distal portion after the allantoic diverticulum, that portion which is distal to that, will dilate. And this dilatation forms a portion called as endodermal cloaca. So, it dilates to give endodermal cloaca. And this portion, endodermal cloaca, which is made up of endoderm, immediately there will be ectoderm. There won't be any intermediate mesoderm at this point. Okay. And that junction between the endoderm and ectoderm is now very thin, and it's called as cloacal membrane. Subsequently, what happens in this endodermal cloaca, there will be one septa. Okay, that's called urorectal septum, which divides the endodermal cloaca into an anteriorly placed cavity called as urogenital sinus, posteriorly primitive rectum. You can see that here. Can you see that septum? Just now I told you. It is called urorectal septum. There will be 2 lateral folds and 1 vertical fold coming from above, dividing the endodermal cloaca into 2 cavities. Anteriorly placed urogenital sinus, posteriorly placed primitive rectum. Now what happens to this so-called cloacal membrane? It is now divided into urogenital membrane anteriorly because it is overlaying the urogenital sinus. This primitive rectum subsequently gives rise to rectum anal canal. Therefore, this part is called posterior part of the cloacal membrane, now becomes anal membrane. The junction between the two, the urogenital sinus and primitive rectum, you can see this duct is still called as cloacal duct. At this junction, there is a development of a body, pyramidal shape fibromuscular body. It's called perineal body. So that is a fate of the cloacal membrane. It can be a 3 marker. Cloacal membrane will become urogenital membrane anteriorly, anal membrane posteriorly, and the perineal body in between. Now coming back to our topic, urogenital sinus. Underlying that will be urogenital membrane. So obviously the urogenital sinus will give rise to the urinary bladder. Okay, that's understandable. But the entire mucosa of the urinary bladder is coming from the endoderm of the urogenital sinus, except few 2 areas. That is, one is apex of the urinary bladder, which is developed from allantoic diverticulum. What is this allantoic diverticulum? You see this diverticulum. The apex of the urinary bladder is derived from allantoic diverticulum, and the trigone of the urinary bladder, a triangular area in the posterior wall of the urinary bladder. This trigone of the urinary bladder is developed from incorporation of these ducts. These ducts are called as mesonephric ducts. Subsequently, the upper portion of these mesonephric ducts will give rise to the ureteric bud, which grows upwards towards the kidney. That will form the collecting system. But these mesonephric duct in the form of S shape will get incorporated into the posterior surface of the urinary bladder, contributing to the trigone of the urinary bladder. The connective tissue framework, subsequently, the connective tissue framework and the musculature of the urinary bladder which is nothing but the smooth muscle of the detrusor muscle. Detrusor muscle. It is developed from splanchnopluric layer of lateral plate mesoderm. So, in summary, the entire mucosa of the urinary bladder is developed from endoderm of the urogenital sinus, which is a part of the endodermal cloaca, except the apex of the urinary bladder. The mucosa of the apex is developed from allantoic diverticulum, and this one, the trigone of the urinary bladder, which is developed from incorporation of mesonephric duct. Okay, that is about the mucosa. So mucosa is derived from three things. What are they? Number one, the entire mucosa is developed from endoderm of the urogenital sinus. Number two, apex is developed from allantoic diverticulum. Number three, trigone mucosa is developed from incorporation of mesonephric ducts on either side. They will get incorporated. The connective tissue and the musculature of the urinary bladder is developed from splanchnopluric layer of lateral plate mesoderm, which will contribute to the muscles of the urinary bladder. These muscles are subsequently controlled by autonomic nervous system, which includes sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system will stimulate this detrusor muscle, so it will contract and it will empty the bladder. Sympathetic nervous system will inhibit the detrusor muscle. So that is about the development of urinary bladder. Kindly consider subscribing to my channel and don't forget to give a thumbs up for this video. Thank you for watching and learning from Logic Medico. Thank you once again.